Hey, what's up, guys? Week number 12 is here. Benny versus the Penny. I am one of your humbled hosts, David Gascon. Thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Glad you can be with us here tonight. Got a lot of things to cover, and of course, one of the switches from yesterday's affairs, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, that goes from Thursday to Sunday, and now it's going to Tuesday night. So a little bit different of a makeup in week number 12. We did get two games yesterday. There were a couple of dogs, but still plenty of money to be made, and Ben did just that. So without further ado, let's introduce the man of the hour, Ben Maller. What's up, man?
Hey, by the way, before we get going here, Gascon, I would like to say thank you. I don't know if you can see the hat I'm wearing, but it is on there. It is right there, beautiful. This is a gift from Kentucky Tay and Kentucky J. Right? They sent this in, and there it is. Beautiful.
That's pretty nice, man.
This is the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Very unique. Very unique. This will be in my rotation. So now I've got Kentucky, University of Kentucky. I've got Iowa, Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, and now the Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers. And I did ask the guys. I said in the chat, I was schmoozing before we got started on the YouTube channel. I was like, hey, if you can guess what hat, I will give you a golden ticket, knowing that no one other than the people that sent this would be able to know. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And on with the show, Gascon. I was 1-1, by the way. 1-1 on Thursday. I had the Texans and I had the Cowboys. And a great job by the Cowboys. Way to finish the game out there in the fourth quarter. Tremendous job. They're really playing a great game down the stretch. 4-point game going to the fourth quarter, being outscored 21-0. That is good Dallas Cowboy football. That's a solid job by Mike McCarthy. Go bash some melons and all that. And yeah, so I was going to do if I'd been on last night, I would have done a monologue, Gascon, about this. How it's very sad. The strength coach for the Cowboys passed away.
Yeah.
It's tragic. The guy was a young guy. It was a terrible
54.
story, but. Yeah, I mean, that's way too young. But I keep reading these stories about how, the Cowboys were just so brokenhearted they couldn't play the game. Whereas if they had won the game, it would have been they were inspired by that. So it's like whatever happened, that led to the story. Those stories, I kept reading the stories about how the Cowboys, they couldn't play because of the emotion. And I'm like, well, if they had won the game, then you would have said the opposite. So those kind of things just annoy the hell out of me. Just want to point that out.
Which is a little odd because they didn't play bad football. It's just their coaching staff decided to piss the game away. That put their defense in a bad position. And all of a sudden, a tightly contested affair, like you mentioned, was just turned into a one-sided contest. I was completely baffled by that, especially with first place on the line.
Well, you might actually want to maybe tell Zeke Elliott to go to bed with the football and cuddle it like a baby and all of that. My God, I mean I keep hearing how great Zeke Elliott is, and I watch him play, and most of the time he's just a replacement level running back for the Cowboys.
I don't remember this many times where a head coach went for it on fourth down and short on his side of the 50. I mean, the one time that comes to my mind was a Sunday night game. I'm sure you remember this, but with New England and Indianapolis when Manning was there, and Belichick went for it on his side of the 50, and he came up short, and then the Colts came back and won that game. But I don't know what McCarthy was thinking.
Well, he's thinking about Gallagher probably smashing pumpkins and watermelons or whatever. That's next. He did watermelons. Now he's got to do smashing pumpkins and just take a sledgehammer and destroy some beautiful, delicious pumpkins. That's
you are dressed.
By the way, for those of you, hold on a second. Hold on. Wait. For those of you in the chat right now, for those of you watching the live stream, all right, and this is a holiday weekend. People are doing stuff. They've got relatives, whatever. Click the thumbs up. That's all we ask. Tell a friend. And most people watch this on the rebroadcast. They don't watch the live feed. Now you were gonna attack my attire. Is that what you were going to do?
But you mentioned the watermelon smashing, and since you're dressed for the occasion, I will make a great recommendation. When we're free, like when we are allowed to breathe and go outside a little bit. With a green slip.
When will that be? 2022, 2023? What are we looking at? 2024, 2025? What are we looking at here?
TBD.
Let me know.
I don't know. But We should go throwing axes. Since you're dressed for the occasion, there's a couple places in downtown Los Angeles which you can actually throw axes at. I think that'd be pretty. I don't know. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever gone to the archery, shot bow and arrow?
No.
Have you ever shot guns?
No, I've never done any of that. Although there are parts of Los Angeles you can go and you can have an axe thrown at you, depending on the neighborhood. So you have that as well, and you can walk through MacArthur Park at about 10:30 at night and see what happens there. You might get a hand grenade.
So on one side of the street on Alvarado, which you know quite well, is you can get a fake ID, and the other side you can get a pastrami. What do you get on the north and south side?
Heroin, yeah, or shot. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man,
the greatest. The greatest pastrami restaurant, better than the ones in New York, is this Langer's Deli in L.A.
Yeah.
And it's right across from MacArthur Park, which is like a demilitarized zone. It's unreal, man. So you have this like debate. Do you really want pastrami? Do you want to risk your life? And then you're right, because I used to take when I lived in downtown LA, I would take the subway over to MacArthur Park.
Yeah.
And I'd get off and driver's license, fake ID, driver's license, whatever you want, hook you up.
It's a sweet combination of New York and Tijuana, because like in Tijuana they got all like the kids like passing you gum, and you got all like the vendors out there just offering you all kinds of stuff like clothes, food, fruit, like the whole 9 yards. It's exactly what that is, from one corner to the other corner, and obviously you just got to be had your head on a swivel, minding where you parked your car.
Well, you just have to explore all corners, Gascon. You have to see what's available. So window shopping, right? When you go shopping, you don't buy the first thing you look at. You kind of go around, see what's there, bounce back and forth and all that. So there you go. Should we start picking games, Gascon?
Yeah. Let's take a quick peek at last week. Last week you juiced out, but 7-7. A couple games that went your way, which is a great surprise for you. But the New York Jets, they were on the verge of getting blown out. And they recovered, and they covered.
Cover. I got backdoor cover on that one. The Packer game, they had a 2-touchdown lead twice.
Yes,
and that was a bad beat. That one. And how the hell did the Dolphins lose to the Broncos? How the hell does that happen?
I don't know, but the penny picked Denver in that one. What do you mean? Tua Tagovailoa did not look good. That's just football karma for talking about how easy it is.
Well, no, but listen, the Broncos, it's amazing they win any games. They've actually been pretty good against the spread, but they are not an aesthetically pleasing team at all. Yeah. They are brutal. And then the Patriots, they go against the 31st ranked run defense in the Houston Texans last week, and they don't even really try to run the ball. Yeah. I mean, what are you doing? I know you think you're the smartest guy in the world, Bill Belichick. But my God, I mean, at least stick to the run, and they didn't, and they lost by a touchdown as a favorite on the road. Yeah. So it's been a year of mediocrity this year. It's been a year of mediocrity, but we will see the record there. Wow, we're going deeper and deeper in the season. Look at that, weeks 10 through 17, all the way through.
It's a little depressing, man. I mean, because when we get halfway through the season, then we get the dog games of college football, the bowl series anyway. And then, of course, you get some of these schlubs. At least we get the extra wild card game. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, 3 games under 500 so far. You gotta jump on the horse and get it moving.
Well, I was watching some college football today. I was watching the Cal-Stanford game on Fox earlier, and Petros was doing the game. I love Petros, but it was, again, another one of these things like the crowd noise. They have the wide shot, and there's no one in the crowd in Berkeley, and then you've got the crowd going wild every time Cal got a first down, and I was like, this is pretty annoying. I know it's been going on all year. It seemed today the crowd noise was even louder than normal. It seems to me on the NFL broadcast, it's not overwhelming. They keep it down. Maybe I just don't notice it as much in the NFL, but it's like sitting in the catbird seat watching what was going on. I was like, holy crap, this is brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
it is. It's
So
unfortunate.
I like that I went 7-7 last week, and I'm already 1-1 this week. I like that.
Yeah, it's the
Average.
500 ways of Ben Maller, right?
Well, I
It's all
still
good.
have plenty of time. If I finish the season well, then the only thing people look at is the collective record at the end of the year. They won't realize that heading into the final few weeks of the regular season, I was like average. It's how you finish, right? That's it. That'll change the economy. So you want to get started with this, Gascon?
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's do this thing. Las Vegas and Atlanta's game number 1.
All right, this is the first early game. It is on CBS with Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. They've got the call here. The Raiders come in 6-4. The Falcons are 3-7. Las Vegas. This game opened to pick 'em. The Raiders are a 3-point road favorite at Mercedes-Benz Stadium inside the dome. So the weather not a factor in this game. I am going to not only pick the Raiders in this game, but this is one of my best bets of the week here. I have turned on the Atlanta Falcons. I am done with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the only thing that concerns me, I'm making this my best bet, Gascon, but the only thing that concerns me is the letdown factor for Vegas. They lose a heartbreaker against a divisional opponent, Kansas City, a game that was nip and tuck right to the final minutes of the game. They allowed Mahomes to come down and shove it down their throat there at the end. And the fact that nobody's going to get up to play a 3-7 Atlanta Falcons team, and the Raider defense has been bashed around. Those are all reasons not to bet on the Raiders. But if you look at the positive, they clearly have the better quarterback in this matchup. Derek Carr continues to have an amazing season. I don't think he's that good, but he's played over his skis for the Raiders. His numbers have been outstanding. He's a top 5 quarterback in many statistical categories. And the Raiders have been a great road team. Their only hiccup was against the Patriots, which in retrospect is rather embarrassing for the Raiders, but they've got a 4-1 record outside the state of Nevada, and they have covered the spread in 5 of their last 6 games, 4 of their last 5 on the road. So that's this season on the road. And then Atlanta with Matty Ice, these guys have played wicked bad football here in the second half of the game. I mean, the Saints actually manhandled them in that game. That was a close game last week. I had Atlanta, and they were so confused. They got twisted into pretzels by Taysom Hill, the gimmick quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So I'm taking the Raiders. I think they cover the spread easily. Raiders 30 and the Falcons 23 for the final.
Penny's also going that way, going with Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, next up for us, Arizona at New England. It's on Fox. You better watch. Kevin Burkhardt and Daryl Moose Johnston have the call. The game also, this one opening a pick'em as well, just like the Atlanta-Las Vegas game. And the Cardinals are now a 2-point favorite in Foxborough. It's going to be sunny. And in the low 50s, it's going to get down to the 40s as the game goes on. It's going to start at kickoff. The forecast, 51 degrees at Gillette Stadium. The public loves Arizona. This is one of the games that's lopsided in favor of Arizona. I am going to go to the Patriots on this one. I'm going to take the Pats, and I'll take New England here. Bill Belichick, an opportunity here to slow down Gascon's favorite quarterback, Alligator Arms Murray, the fun zone of the NFL, who people like Gascon are trying to hype up as the MVP. Keep in mind that Kyler Murray is not in the top 10 among quarterbacks in quarterback ranking as far as overall rating. He's also 20th in yards per attempt. He's tied with Matthew Stafford, trailing Jared Goff in yards per attempt. And despite that, the dummies in the mainstream football media keep hyping this guy up as an MVP. It's comical. You know they don't know football when they see these kind of things. Now, like New England will actually be able to score game, but Arizona's defense is ranked 30th over the last month or good month. So for Cam Newton, he's been bad. He's actually in position to win every one of these games. I think the one game they didn't have a chance to win was the 49er game. That was a blowout. But that was a game. I don't know that game. But I like the Patriots here. I think Belichick enough. Patriots will be able to ground the ball out and run the ball and move the ball against the Cardinals. And New England at home has beaten some teams that you'd say beating based on the way they played overall. Patriots coming in with that 4-6 record, but they beat the Raiders, as we mentioned earlier, beat the weeks ago in Foxborough. So this can be another notch in the Belichick belt here. Even with Arizona having in this game, the Cardinals have failed to come in 3 straight games. So I'm going to take the Patriots game outright on a late field goal. Patriots 27 and the Cardinals 26, the final.
And Penny does not trust you on this one. Penny's going with the Redbirds of Arizona.
That's a bad job by the Penny, sucking up to alligator arms. Murray, clearly. Bad job there. Taco talk in the chat. I'm looking at what they're doing in the chat here. There's some tacos are being made. People also pointing out there's a lot of buffering action going on for some reason, Gascon. And correct that, Gascon. Is there any way we can correct that? Is everything good? Is everything working? Are people being able to watch this? Yes?
They can watch, but I think you need what we call a hard line, because Wi-Fi and the Maller Mansion. See, when you don't live on a single floor, you have a double deck and a triple deck. The internet connection all the way upstairs to where you're at, it's a little dicey, and that's where we're at right now. So Wi-Fi connectivity in the Maller Mansion is a little challenging.
Well, my wife has to watch her TV shows right now at the same time. God forbid she stay off the internet for like a couple hours there. Cannot do that. Cannot do it. No. You do your little internet show. I'm going to watch my TV on the internet. That's what I'm going to do. So.
Well, we could do the best of both worlds. We could have her come into the chat, and then she could take all the viewers on here too.
Yeah. Well, I'm good to see all our listeners that have checked in here. Rich says Ben's internet connection is as bad as the Cowboys' fake punt yesterday.
Oh.
There's that, and all our P1s in the Maller militia there checking it out there. It's wonderful to have them. How exciting!
Yeah, you got.
What'd you put that one on for? Why'd you put that on the screen? What's up with that?
Which one? I don't know. I got all kinds of comments that we include on here, man. But
yeah.
I do want to let you know, we'll talk about this when we get into the trivia. There's some fat discounts for everybody with Fanatics. The show's obviously provided us a little bit of help along the way with holiday season, and Fanatics has got a great discount for everybody. So we'll get into that once we do some trivia.
That's right. We will do that in a little bit. So, again, I like the Patriots over the Cardinals. Who did the Penny pick again? The Cardinals? Is that right?
Penny's got the Redbirds, yeah. So we go from there to a team that covers a lot right now, the New York Giants.
Yeah, but this is a weird situation for New England. They've covered the Giants, rather. The Giants have covered a lot of these games as an underdog. They are favored this week. The Giants 3-7, Cincinnati 2-7-1. It's on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Chris Spielman have the call. And the Bengals, originally when Joe Burrow, it looked like he was going to play as of a week and a half ago before he got hurt.
Yeah.
The Bengals were a 3-point favorite. The game opened Bengals by 3. It is now Giants by 6. This is a 9-point move on the point spread. It's going to be mostly cloudy in the Natty and 53 degrees at kickoff at Paul Brown Stadium. I am going to reluctantly take the Giants. I do not like betting favorites in this game. I certainly don't think the Giants deserve to be that big a favorite. I would like the Giants much more when they were a 3-point favorite. I liked them a lot. I don't love the game because of the point spread. The Giants are going to win the game, but I still have my doubts here. Now, the reason I'm going to stick with the Giants, though, is because if you look at the Bengals, we did a monologue about this the other day. Zach Taylor, he's lost the locker room, at least factions of the locker room. There's a mutiny on the Bengals bounty, as we talked about, and guys calling him out, saying it's like a college program, and you got this parade of flotsam and jetsam at quarterback. Joe Burrow out. So originally they were going to go to Ryan Finley, he was going to be the quarterback, and he was going to start for Cincinnati. And instead, Brandon Allen is going to take over. Now, this guy was a backup with the Rams. He knows Zach Taylor. He was with the Denver Broncos last season and played 3 games. He started 3 games, and in those 3 games, for the 50% of his passes for barely 6 yards per attempt. Very unmemorable beginning to his NFL career. Now, I know people can get better, but I look at Finley. These guys should be delivering packages for Amazon, is what they should be doing. They should not be playing quarterback in the NFL. You add on to the fact that Joe Mixon, the leading rusher for the Bengals, is still not able to play, and the monsoon of madness for Cincinnati. Now, secondly, I do like the Giants to win. I'm concerned they're going to be able to cover that 6-point number. Joe Judge has been very kind to gamblers, the first-year head coach. The Giants, they're expected to win, which, again, scares the crap out of me because the curse of high expectations. New York has covered the spread 6 of their last 7 games, but they've almost always been an underdog, or it's been a 1 or a 2-point line. So I'll take the Giants to squeeze this out. And by the way, the Giants beat the Bengals if they win on Sunday, and we think the Giants are going to win. They might not cover the spread, but we think they're going to beat the Bengals. And the Eagles then lose on Monday night to the Seattle Seahawks. The Giants will be in first place in the NFC East going into Week 13. So if the Giants win, Eagles lose, Cowboys have already lost. And the Giants have the tiebreaker with Washington because Washington, they played them twice and did very well against them. So, anyway, I'm going to take the Giants. I said they do cover the spread. Giants 27, Bengals 13, the final.
Verdict is in. Penny has flipped, and it's going with the Bungles in this one.
All right, now Josh, one of these Cincinnati bros there, says the Bengals will be bludgeoned. He says.
I can imagine our colleague Andy Furman will be in full form, fine form, when drinking the day away, seeing the Bengals just vomit all over themselves.
Dave writes in, he says, Gascon's father paid for a high-speed line to his west of the 405 shag pad. There you go. Robert says, Ben is in Vegas where the internet connection sucks.
Isn't that true though? Clearly. Right, you go into the hotel, and then you're gonna pay your $15 to $25 for a resort fee. Then you get into your room, and you barely get a couple bars.
Yeah,
it's like the worst. No,
I have the high speed internet. I don't know, but that's all we use. We don't have like cable or satellite. We watch everything on the computer. So
yeah,
and it works pretty good. I don't know what's going on with this. It's all Fugate every week. It's good because people, the number one thing that human beings like to do, I've learned this from years in talk radio, is complain. And so this gives people something that they really genuinely love to do. You complain about your job. You complain about how much sleep you get, what you eat, your health conditions. Just complain. So we're here to help you complain. We're here for you.
In the weekend of Thanksgiving, we're not giving thanks. We are bitching and moaning into Week 12.
Well, isn't that how everyone operates, though? I mean, why should we be any different?
No, it's either you're bitching or you're claiming victimhood. It's one or the other.
Well, that's its own cottage industry. The world's out to get me. I'm a victim, and the other thing is you can't ever call bullshit on that. When somebody says they're a victim, you're supposed to just, okay, we believe you. We won't check that out. Okay, you're good. We won't verify what you're saying is actually true. We'll just believe you because it'd be wrong not to. All right, let's keep going, Gascon. Cleveland 7-3 at Jacksonville 1-9. And I would like to recommend a new game since our buddy Dick Stockton only does a couple of games now at Fox. I want to do the Spiro Ditas game, which is, can you guess which game Spiro Ditas is doing? Because Spiro Ditas, even though he's a lot younger than Dick, he is the same. He does the same shit games every week, right? So I always call it like it is here. This is a Spiro Ditas game with Adam Archuleta, Jacksonville and Cleveland. My God. The Browns opened a 6.5. Actually, they opened a 6-point favorite. It's up to 6.5 right now. 69 degrees, mostly cloudy at kickoff at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. I'm going to take the Jags in this game. I'm going to take Jacksonville. The Browns have been they've been very good at taking advantage of the soft spots in their schedule. In fact, to prove that, Cleveland is 6-0 this season. Dick and Dayton's team, the Cleveland Browns, they're 6-0 this season against teams that currently are under 500. They've played 4 games against teams that have a winning record, and against those teams, the Browns are 1-3. Now, obviously, this is a crap team in Jacksonville who they're playing, and so that said, Baker Mayfield has been a below-average quarterback. The Browns are winning games, but not because of Baker Mayfield. And they have failed to cover the spread, as we saw the stat. You had it up on the screen there. They have failed to cover the spread. 9 of the last 10 road games, the Browns have failed to cover. And I said, well, that's what has happened. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. I am intrigued by the quarterback change also for Jacksonville. Jake Luton, who's pretty bad, he has been replaced. He's back to clipboard and hat duty. And that means the draft, Mike Glennon takes over for Jacksonville. It's been the 3rd different starting quarterback for the Jags this season, and this is like the guy. I mean, the quarterback change is kind of like if you're a kid and you don't like eating vegetables, and your mom says, "Okay, no more broccoli. Here's some cauliflower," and you're like, "Mom, I don't like that either." You know, it's that kind of thing. There's no good options. All right, there's no good options. Listen, Mike Glennon is well rested. He's attempted. How many passes he's attempted since the end of the 2017 season? 31.
Oh, shoot.
That's it. 31. He last started a game for the Bears, and this was the guy Chicago brought in thinking that he was going to be a starting option a few years ago, and that turned out to be a hot mess. He did get paid a lot of money. Jacksonville has covered the spread 2 of their last 3 games, including a game with the Packers. I'm uncomfortable laying 6.5 with the Browns, the way Baker Mayfield plays and the interception, the great equalizer. So I am going to take the Cleveland Browns to win but not cover. I'll take the Browns 24 and Jacksonville 19 the final.
Penny's going with the road team in this one. Going with the Cleveland Browns.
I saw what you put up there from Pierre, the great friend of Alf, the alien opiner, that says, Ben is much cleaner now. Mrs. Mallard must be walking Bella. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I have no idea.
All right, so the big question is then, did Bella eat? Did she feast on Thanksgiving Day or night?
No, she didn't, because we didn't have Thanksgiving here. We went to my father-in-law's house and had some turkey, and then went to my dad's house, and so yeah, she didn't have any turkey. She doesn't like popcorn though. I've been making popcorn recently, and my dad was telling me, my dad's giving me this whole rap about how he feeds his dogs popcorn. His dogs love popcorn, and so I was like, all right, you know, you make popcorn cheap. You can make a crap load of it. You know, it's actually not bad for you unless you put a ton of butter on it. So I was like, all right, I'll make popcorn. Getting older, I have to try to watch my diet a little bit. And so I make the popcorn. I'm trying to feed it to Bella. I'm like dropping it for Bella, and she wanted no part of it. She was like, she looked at me like, you freaking loser. What's wrong with you? How could you possibly eat something that's so crappy as popcorn?
Yeah, but if you up your game and you get, say, like Popcornopolis, she might be all over that thing.
Oh, is that right? You think that might be the
Popcornopolis is pretty legit. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's covered in sugar, by the way.
Right.
It's covered in sugar. You know, I mean, you know,
can't go wrong with that.
You cover any. It's like I love eating Chinese food too, right? I love eating Chinese food, but keep in mind if you eat a lot of Chinese food there, hey, did you screw up the graphics? I saw that. But if you eat a lot of Chinese food, it's covered in sugar. That's why it tastes so good. Hey, I think I figured out the cheat code to the internet, by the way, Gascon. I'll tell you off the air.
Now, is it like a Nintendo game where you have to like blow in the cartridge and then like move it around inside the NES, or is it like Sega Genesis where you need to move it around and blow in the cartridge on that one and then tap the back end of it?
Well, no, I just like clicked something, and then I clicked another thing, and then I clicked another 2 things, and then all of a sudden it works. So
interesting.
it's made.
Interesting. You want to get trivia real quick?
Let's get trivial. Let's
right.
get trivial. Here we go, trivia. Here we go, trivia. Da, da, da. All
All
right.
right, so here we go. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady have the two highest winning percentages as starting quarterbacks since 2011. I rank third behind them. Who am I? And of course, Benny the King of PSAs.
That's right. And this is not a PSA. This is but you see this hat, this cool hat that was sent in by a couple of P1s in Kentucky, Kentucky Tay and Kentucky J. This hat right here, you can get something just like it from Fanatics, and it is Black Friday today. I went out to Costco. It wasn't actually that busy, thank God. I walked around Costco a little bit. Get my exercise. And they teased me because it looked like they had samples back. But here's the deal. We're going to wait for you to answer the question in the chat. And while we wait for your answers, you can support the show if you're looking to buy any kind of team fan gear for loved ones with Christmas and Hanukkah coming up at the end of the year. You can do that on Fanatics, and they have all the latest apparel and great premium prices. Make sure to click on the affiliate link right there. It's in the description box on the YouTube video, just below the YouTube video. You can click on that and get everything you need. Everything you need from all, it's fan gear. They've got Robbie the Mariner fan picked up a autographed Josh Allen photo that he worships every single day and prays to. So he's got that.
70% off. So if you buy anything today and you enter the code word Black Friday, you get 70% off with that code. So that's great if you guys are looking to stuff some stockings or just send somebody a quick gift, beanie, a hat, small little jacket or sweater, whatever it may be, even for the youngins. That's a fat discount courtesy of Fanatics. Just click on the code below for us. And of course, all this in the show is brought to you by Ecamm Live, Mac-based application for all your streaming needs. If you guys are curious about that, you can also click on that, but they help power the show throughout the entire year in the National Football
All right.
League.
So Peyton Manning, Tom Brady have the two highest winning percentages as a starting quarterback since 2011. Who ranks third? I rank third. Behind them, Scott is going with Tony Montana as his answer. Who else do we have? Russell Wilson from Robert. That was his guess. Who else do we have? Page down. Peter Tom Willis from Haydenfield. That's a good one. Brian F. is going with Kyler Murray as his answer. Achilles Smith, guessed by Rich. Who else do we have? Let's see. Tua Tagovailoa from Jonathan. Robert is going with Bob Dees as his answer.
Any affiliation to Rick Dees?
Yeah, it's his long-lost son. Long-lost son. Mr. Luciano is going with Lucky Luciano, the mob boss, Lucky Luciano, who the famous story, when I had a lemon as a car and we had to turn the car in because it was a lemon, the guy that took the keys from the car and gave us a check claimed he was the illegitimate son of Lucky Luciano.
Oh, wow.
The mob boss. Yeah, like he had this whole rap down, and he pulled out photographs of his of him, and I guess his mom was Lucky Luciano's maid or something like that, his mistress. And wild. Well, I don't know if any of that was true, by the way, but the guy made a very compelling argument.
It's a good story.
Very compelling argument. So yeah, it is a pretty good story. Camping Matt said Tim Tebow. Let's see, who else do we have? Carson Palmer, guessed by Just Josh in Cincinnati. D's Nuts from Raider Freak. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the WWE legend from back in the day, tossed out by the one and only 00 Mexican. All right, reveal answers. What's the answer?
This is actually not that much of a shocker. Alex Smith, though, from San Francisco to Kansas City, and now with the Washington football team.
All right, so Alex Smith, I don't think he played all that well. Do you think he played well in the Thursday game? I don't think he played all that well. He was okay.
Antonio Gibson was a monster in that game, but every time he goes out and gets hit, I always look at the leg.
Yeah, it's cringeworthy, man. It's cringeworthy, but the Redskins are winning with him at quarterback. He's not playing particularly great, but they're winning these games. All right, next up, Carolina, 4-7 at Minnesota, 4-6. It's on Fox. You better watch with Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. The Vikings opened a 3.5-point favorite They are still favored by 3.5. Now, this isn't a dome at U.S. Bank Stadium, but if you're in the Twin Cities this weekend, you know it's going to be partly cloudy, partly cloudy. 38 degrees at kickoff. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers in this game. I've been back and forth on Carolina, but this is more of a bet against the Vikings. I just don't trust the Vikings. The Vikings won the stats again last week, but despite the panache of Dalvin Cook, the flashy numbers of Kirk Cousins that seemingly every week are really good, and they were good last week against the Cowboys. These sloppy special teams, the turnovers, that is the poison for Minnesota, and I imagine more of that will happen this week. This is another chance, though, for the Vikings to sneak back into the conversation. They get to 5-6. You got to get to 500 and have the few games to go here. And this is the easy part of the schedule. They already blew the game against the Cowboys last week. This is another opportunity for the Vikings to right the ship here. When you compare and contrast these teams, they clearly in Minnesota have the heavy artillery, but it's the mistakes, as I said, that caused me to run the other way. And I also like the fact that Teddy Bridgewater, he's got a bad knee, but he's back. Bridgewater is back. He's coming back to play this week. Carolina ready to roll. He has completed 72% of his passes this season, averaging 7.7 yards per pass attempt. So Bridgewater's done the job with really average skill guys, and the real lethal weapon, the torpedo that Carolina has in the backfield, hasn't been able to play much at all this season. So they're pretty much just playing a bunch of rejects, but it's working. Right? It's working. I don't trust the Vikings because of all the mistakes. They're a helter-skelter team, and Carolina has covered the spread in 4 straight road games. You see that 4-0 against the spread their last 4 as an underdog, and the Panthers 6-1 against the spread their last 7 at dog. So you think that continues here. This is a close game. I think the Vikings will actually win it, but I'll take the Vikings 27 and the Panthers 25, the final.
No Adam Thielen, no problem. Penny's going with the Minnesota Vikings in this one.
Oh, look at that. Brian F. has left the chat here. Look at that. He couldn't handle the chat, so he's taking off there. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. I don't know. But named Brian F. I don't know. Do you recognize that name? I don't recognize that name. I have no idea who that is.
It's your boy.
Yeah. Who?
It's your boy.
I don't know who that is.
It's your prodigal son.
I don't recognize that. I don't know who that is. Yeah. Shouldn't he be writing jokes right now? Shouldn't there be some jokes that
he should be stealing some of your monologues and writing it for his own?
There you go. All right. Next game for us. Who do we have? We've got Tennessee at Indianapolis. Tennessee 7-3, Indianapolis 7-3. It's on CBS with Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. The Colts opened a 4-point favorite. They are favored by 3 at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be cloudy, 48 degrees at kickoff. And I am going to take the Titans in this game. I'm going to take the Titans here. The Colts, listen, they've been playing great lately, hitting on all cylinders and all those cliches. They performed way above where they're supposed to be defensively. They're number 1 or number 2. Most of the defensive stats, they kicked the snot out of the Titans in that Thursday night game a couple of weeks back here. And so are they going to do that again? Is the sequel going to be the equal? I say no. I like the Titans in the payback spot with Derrick Henry, who actually had a good statistical game a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to take Tennessee here. Their defense has been bad, but it was puzzling how they did not even push back against Indy in the first matchup. And Ryan Tannehill was completely discombobulated here. I expect a better performance all the way around here. The Titans have won 16 of the last 23 games since Tannehill took over. So they're 16-7 with Ryan Tannehill as the starting quarterback. And they've gone now 8-2 in their last 10 on the road. So I say they get back on track, and Tennessee gets to 8-3. Indianapolis will go down to 8-4. I'll take the Titans 30 and the Colts 27, the final. And the 25th.
Penny likes that one. Also going with Tennessee. They punked Baltimore last week pretty bad.
Yeah, no, that was a nice performance there all the way around. But that defense, though, for Tennessee, my God, brutal, 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 brutal. They suck. So it's always dangerous when you're betting a team with bad defense. But what the hell? You only live once. All right, next up, the LA Chargers at Buffalo. And the Chargers 3-7, the Bills 7-3. It's on CBS. You see some of the numbers there. Chargers 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games. Greg Gumbel and Rich Gannon have the call. Now, the Bills opened a 6-point favorite. They are currently a 5.5-point favorite. Mostly sunny, 50 degrees at kickoff at Bills Stadium. I am going to take the Chargers in this game. I'm going to take the Chargers in this game. I just don't trust Buffalo by this margin. All right. And I mentioned Tennessee's defense isn't very good. Well, neither is Buffalo's defense. The Chargers have been able to move the ball with Justin Herbert. You got to think he's licking his chops here. Now, Buffalo's defense overall is ranked 20th in the NFL. However, the last 3 weeks, they are ranked 30th in the NFL, and only the Jets and the Lions have been worse over the last almost month than Buffalo. Now, that being said, as we said, LA has been a bad team. They have not covered the spread their last 4 games. And going back even further, Anthony Lynn, since he took over, he got off to a good start gambling-wise, but since then, he has failed to cover the spread. 19 of the last 26 games have failed to cover the spread for the Chargers. The Chargers, again, without Casey Hayward, the defensive back who's got a bad groin, and Melvin Ingram, the defensive end with that bad knee. So they're on the injury report. They are out. I do expect Buffalo to win this game. I think Buffalo wins the game, but LA will cover here. Josh Allen, he has been carrying a big stick over the last 6 weeks and has been Joe average. 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a fumble. That's a passer rating below 90 over the last 6 games, and he's averaging less than 7 yards per pass attempt. The Bills will be without John Brown, again, their wide receiver. If that factors in, I don't think it will. Buffalo's going to score points. The Chargers will score points, even in the cooler conditions of upstate New York. I am going to take Buffalo 34 and the Chargers 30.
Penny does not like that's going with the Buffalo Bills in this one.
Camping Matt says, I don't trust the Bills. Yeah, of course you can't trust the Bills. There you go. You can't do it. Hey, for all you guys in the chat right now, I see some new people there and some new people watching the live stream on YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And please, thumbs up, just like that. Help us out here. Thumbs up, the way to go. And buy something on Fanatics too. But just – you got to click the link or else we don't get credit for it. You should buy stuff at Fanatics anyway, but without you actually clicking the button, like pressing the click thing and that working, then we don't get any credit for it. But you have a week after you click on it. So you can click on it right now and then next Tuesday go out and buy something and you'll be good to go.
Fair enough. 70% off this week. 70% ends tonight.
Oh, then buy right now then. Don't wait till Tuesday. Buy right now. Pierre, friend of Alf, the Alien Opiner, says MVP Allen showing up for Robbie this week, he says. There you go. All right.
It would be your worst case scenario is if Mahomes cools off and then Josh Allen and then Kyler Murray get hot towards the end of the season. Because that MVP chatter will just be up in smoke for you in terms of somebody else. Because they're going to give it to one of those guys if they get hot.
I mean, educated people know that Josh Allen and Kyler Murray are not MVP ball players. The uneducated fan supports those guys. The educated football observer knows these guys are middle of the pack quarterbacks who put highlight stats up that the knuckle dragging fan likes. Like yourself. You would admit you're a low information fan.
No, but this is exactly why you said pointedly last year Lamar Jackson made you look like a jackass because you wrote him off and he had a monster year. And now this year he's obviously regressed and he's come back to being who people thought he would be.
Well, the difference with that analogy is that Lamar Jackson runner was good, but he
Yeah.
was good as a passer.
For
And
one season.
Kyler Murray not good as a passer, and neither is Josh Allen.
Kyler Murray
you can't win an MVP unless you're able to throw the ball well. And Lamar Jackson did that for a season, and he won an MVP. I don't believe Kyler Murray or Josh Allen can do that consistently, as they've proven this year, right? This season, they've had opportunities, they've had soft schedules, and they haven't played well.
Well, this is a quarterback-driven league, so it doesn't matter how they get into the end zone as long as they get into the end zone. You know they feed off of these stats. It's just all about the touchdowns for them, especially if they're running quarterbacks.
Well, there's only been one quarterback that was horrific throwing the ball that won an MVP award, and that's because his team went 15-1. Cam Newton with Carolina. The year that Cam Newton won the MVP, right. He was a wrecking ball. And I made the argument that year, if you look at his passing numbers the year he won the MVP, he was not very good. He should not have won the MVP that year, but Carolina had the top record. Last I checked, Buffalo and Arizona are not going to – neither one of them is going 15-1, so we don't have to worry about that.
And that was odd because that was the same year Kelvin Benjamin got hurt and was done for the year, so their only deep threat was Ted Ginn Jr. of all people.
Yeah, and even to this day, Cam Newton, the signature play of his career, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the fumble.
And he doesn't jump on it. What a mashugana. All right, next up, let's get this game over with. Miami 6-4 at the Jets, 0-10. Oh, my God. It's on CBS.
Hey, but you made money on him last week, though.
I did. I made money on the Jets. On CBS, Andrew Catalon and James Lofton have the call. Now, the Dolphins, I did a double take when I saw this. The Dolphins are a 7-point favorite. 7. They opened as a 7-point favorite. You got to be bleeping kidding me here. The weather in New Jersey, 48 degrees clear throughout the day at MetLife Stadium in Jersey, just across the way from New York City. I am going to take the Jets in this game. Now, I have told you how great the Dolphins are, and I believe all of those things I said true. I love the Dolphins against the spread, but I don't love them as a 7-point road favorite. The Dolphins have to get that taste out of their mouth from that mind-blowing loss in Denver last week. Tua Tagovailoa, he returns this week as the starter after being benched during that mile-high debacle. What a fiasco that was. And I do think he'll play better because he's playing the Jets defense, which is the quality of low-grade dog food. The last time these teams played, Miami won 24-0. And this was a few weeks back in South Florida. The Jets are preparing as if Sam Darnold is going to start this game on Sunday. Joe Flacco will be holding the clipboard. Not that it really matters. I just do not feel comfortable with Tua Tagovailoa as a big road favorite in a cold weather game. The game is going to start, as I said, 48 degrees. It'll be in the low 40s by the fourth quarter and falling fast. So I am going to go by one of my gambling principles on Benny versus the Penny. Anytime you get a touchdown or more in a divisional game, you take the points. You don't ask questions. The Jets suck. However, 3 of their last 4 losses have been by 1 score or less. So they have been in position. They have been in position to have a chance to win these games. Anytime, again, you get a touchdown or more in a divisional game, you take it. I'm going to take the Dolphins here, 23-17, but the Jets cover the spread. And the Penny pick.
You were so not enthused with that one. Penny's going with the Miami Dolphins and the chalk. Yeah.
The chalky McChalk. No, it's betting internet, not betting 7-point favorites, not a good idea. Although my internet is better. People are still ripping my internet. It's much better now than it was earlier, right? It's improved.
Yeah, it's good. It's much improved. Yes. I was going to ask you, were you surprised with Brian Flores playing a little head game with Tua Tagovailoa this week, saying he doesn't know if he's going to play this weekend?
No, Brian Flores doesn't give a crap. He's not. He's like he should have played Tua at the beginning of the year. That's the only mistake he made, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they should have taken Tua out of the game sooner. He just didn't have it. He wasn't playing well, and they should have taken him out. If they'd taken Tua out of the game at halftime or after the first quarter, conceivably they would have won the game.
That would have been a drastically different ball game.
Well, yeah, but because remember the Dolphins were driving late with
99
Ryan
yards.
Fitzpatrick, and he threw the ball an interception like in the end zone, right at the goal line, that turned that game the other way. All right, let's do another trivia. You want to know a trivia question for the Yahoos in the chat over there? I see the boys having a good time, very active. Double O Mexican says, when Kyler Murray runs, he looks like a toddler running after he stole some candy. Good point. That's a good line by Double O Mexican.
Oh, man. How about this one? With 2 or more TD passes in 7 straight games, I own the longest active multi-touchdown streak in the National Football League. Who am I?
All right. We wait for you guys to answer that. If you're new to the chat, welcome. This is live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live on the YouTube every Friday. The time changes, so you have to follow us on social media to find out when each week it's going to be. But this week, obviously, prime time. And while we wait for your answers to come in, click on that thumbs up button, and that's all you have to do. Thumbs up, just like that, thumbs up. And also, don't forget to help us out with Fanatics. We have partnered with our friends at Fanatics. 70% off. Is that right, Gascon? 70% off. Is it everything or select items?
No, everything. But you have to enter
everything.
The keyword Black Friday today.
70% off everything? I'm going to buy some crap on it. Are you sure about that? That sounds like too good a deal to me, but I'm going to check that out. There's all kinds of discounts on Black Friday. So fanatics.com, but don't go to the website without clicking the link. And you got to click the link in the description box. So the question again, with 2 or more touchdown passes in 7 straight games, I own the longest active multi-touchdown streak in the NFL. Who am I? That's the question. What's the answer? Helmet Man was guessed by Pierre, a.k.a. Alfie, great alien opiner. Robert clearly cheating, got it right. Bad job by him. Juan is going with Derek Carr as the answer. Let's see here. Just Josh says, your internet is much better. I can now read your hat. It says pill poppers. Is that what it says?
It looks pretty damn close, yeah.
No, it's clearly an H there at the beginning. Get some glasses. Sean Salisbury guessed by Rich. Scott is going with Tom Looney as his answer.
2 M's. He spells it like a fool.
He's a douche. He spells it with 2 M's. Who else do we have? I think our friend from Rhode Island is here, and that's Sox Pats fan 74. I met her. She won a contest to go to the World Series, and she got to meet Big Papi and all that. Yeah, and I ended up on the local TV news in Boston because they did a story about her. Yeah, and I was hanging out with her. It was fun. It was a good time.
Now, is she a Boston native or is she a native of Rhode Island?
No, she's in Rhode Island, but she loves the Boston Red Sox and the Patriots and all that. So, yeah.
Very nice.
That was pretty cool. Late Night Drug Test is going with Drew Lock is his answer. Double O Mexican says Uncle Rico is the way to go. Ryan Leaf was guessed. Tim the Toolman Taylor from Walt. Jonathan is going with Ben Roethlisberger as his selection. Let's see here. Mark just wanted to say that Gordy in Ottawa sucks. Yeah, Gordy's unreal. I leave Gordy on hold the entire show, hoping he'll hang up, and he never hangs up. He stays on hold the entire show. And then occasionally I'll feel bad and I'll put him on. And then as soon as I put him on, as soon as I put him on, I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I? This guy's brutal. All right, let's give the answer. What do we got here? What's the answer?
Hold for 4 hours. The answer is, someone got this right. It was actually Justin Herbert of your LA Chargers.
That's right. Not Tommy Kramer, guessed by Hayden Field or Elmer Fudd, tossed out by the radar freak. All right, next up, we get to the late television window. It's on Fox. The New Orleans Saints, 8-2 at Gascon's Denver Broncos, 4-6. Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth have the call. What is Schlereth? Stank? Is that his nickname? Or Stink? Or something like that?
Stink.
Stank. No, it's not Stank. It's Stink. All right, whatever. He's got the game. The Saints opened a 5.5-point favorite in this game. They are a 7-point favorite. 7-point favorite now. Saints, you see the number there, 7-1 against the spread versus losing teams. They've done very well, obviously, in that spot. Sunshine and cooler throughout the day in Denver on Sunday. 43 degrees at Empower Field at Mile High at the kickoff. I am going to take the Broncos. This is actually one of my best bets. This is my second best bet. I like the Broncos plus the 7 at home here. I do not trust Taysom Hill. I know he played well statistically last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Strange things have happened in Denver. The Broncos should not even have 4 wins, which is what they have right now. And if you don't think strange things happen in the Mile High City, contact Tua Tagovailoa last week, who could not handle the Bronco defense there. The Broncos are pretty good defensively. They're an above-average defensive team. And now they have some tape of Taysom Hill, so they can adjust accordingly. Also, under Uncle Vic Fangio, Denver has covered 5 of their last 7 as a home dog. So that's something to keep in mind. And the thing that does scare me about the Broncos is the offense with Drew Lock, who I think from play to play has no idea what he's doing, and cannot consistently move the ball. But I'm trusting that the Bronco defense is going to play well here. Denver can also dominate on special teams. So you do those 2 things. You dominate on special teams, play well enough on defense. Denver's won 6 of their last 9, as I said, when playing as an underdog, 5 of their last 7 as a dog. So it depends how long you want to go back. I will take the Saints to win this game, but the Broncos to cover. Saints 26, Broncos 23, the final.
Penny going with the home team in this one, going with the Broncos. I just hope that Denver doesn't have that Saints defense sack Drew Lock, what was it, 8 times like they did to Matty Ice last week?
Yeah, but that game was still a close game at halftime. The Falcons didn't show up in the second half. It's not like people think that game was lopsided from soup to nuts, and it was not. Yeah. It was not lopsided at all. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see here. Die-hard Pats fan. Well, I know you're a die-hard Boston fan. I know that. Our friend who I met there. There you go. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Next up, Santa Clara 4-6 at the LA Rams 7-3. It's on Fox. My former colleague at Fox Sports Radio, Chris Myers and Brock Heward, have the call. Now the Rams opened up a 7-point favorite. They are 6.5-point favorites right now. Mostly sunny, 71 degrees at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood on Sunday. I'm going to go against the Rams here. I'm going to take the Niners plus the 6.5. The Rams coming off a big-time win, showcase game, beat up Tom Brady and the Buccaneers there. The defense dominated, a great job all the way around by that Ram defense. And the 49ers, listen, they're a broken team. But this is a letdown spot. Niners are coming off the bye. They're more rested. And I just love getting around the touchdown. This is not quite a touchdown. Hopefully the line will go back up to 7, or I'd love 7.5 by the time this game kicks off. But it's close enough where it's got my attention. Jared Goff coming off, for him, a really good game. So I expect him to be worse this week. Some of that is the law of averages. I don't think he'll put back-to-back dominant performances. Also, Kyle Shanahan quietly has had Sean McVay's number here. The Niners have won 3 straight games when facing Los Angeles. Nick Mullins gets the start, which I don't love against that Ram defense. The Niners are also still shorthanded. But here's a fun fact about the Niners. Check out this franchise. Remember they had Alex Smith? Here's another fun fact about Alex Smith. Alex Smith has won since he left the 49ers, since they traded him to Kansas City. He has won 58 games as a starting quarterback in that time. And just keep in mind, he missed an entire year because his leg got broken in half. The 49ers, since they traded Alex Smith, have been to a Super Bowl, and they have won 54 games. So Alex Smith has actually won more games since traded by the 49ers than the 49ers have, Alex Smith missing an entire season. There's a fun fact. As far as the final score, Rams 23 and the 49ers 17. The final.
Penny going with the home team, going with the LA Rams in this one.
All right. Who do we have next? Kansas City 9-1 at Tampa Bay. 7-4. It's on CBS. This is the big game. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be calling the game. You see some of the numbers on your screen there below. Gascon's ugly mug. The Chiefs opened up a 3-point favorite. The line has stayed the same. It's at 3 yet again. And this is another one of my best bets at Raymond James Stadium. It's going to be mostly clear, 77 degrees. I love me Kansas City. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game, and they will easily cover the spread. Tom Brady is ready. Tom Brady is willing. Tom Brady appears unable to get the job done right now. He has done the back step. He's like a defensive back running backwards in a trill at the scouting combine. And so you look at the matchup here, Tom Brady versus the quarterback of the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. It's a butter knife for Brady and a steak knife for Patrick Mahomes. Last 3 weeks, Tom Brady has 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a passer rating of 74.9, and he's averaging just 6.1 yards per attempt. The Kansas City defense has sliced up. It was sliced up rather by Derek Carr. And they actually haven't played all that well this year. They're not as good as the Rams defense. They're not. However, that should not matter here. I think Tom Brady he's going to have to keep up with Mahomes. I don't think he can do it. So I'm going to ride Mahomes, who has 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this season. And Gascon thinks he could be beaten out by Kyler Murray for the MVP. My God, Marone. What's wrong with you, Gascon? In his last 19 starts, Kansas City, you know what their record is? They're 18-1. You know what their record is against the spread? 15-4 against the spread. Andy Reid, you want more? Andy Reid has the best road winning percentage in NFL history. Just an amazing stretch. But the Chiefs are hitting on the road over their last 19 games at a 789 clip. And Kansas City 7-2 against the spread their last 9 road games. I don't think this game's even close. One of my best bets. Chiefs 41 and the Buccaneers 24. The final.
Penny ain't no fool. Going with Kansas City as well.
All right, the Sox Pats fan. She says, "Go Kansas City, crush Tom Brady." So that's a real ball fan. Now that Brady's gone, she's like, "I hope he loses every game. I hope he loses every game." There you go. Robert says my pick on the Ram game was bad. He says, ram it all day, ram it all night. Bad pick. No, I said the Rams would win the game, but they're not going to cover the spread, Robert. That's all. I don't trust Jared Goff. He's going to throw some interceptions here. It'll be a sluggish performance by the Rams. They'll come out lethargic, and the game will be closer than you expect. That's it. All right, next up, Sunday Night Football. Chicago 5-5 at Green Bay 7-3. Why are you shaking your head, Gascon?
I don't know. We've had enough ball games that were bad. Why don't we get this one for a primetime affair?
Because it's on the schedule and they don't want to move those Sunday night games around. That's why. Anyway, the Packers, a 7.5-point favorite. They opened a 7.5-point favorite. Lambeau Field, the site, cloudy, 35 degrees. Now, this is a game I'm not actually going to bet, so I'm putting that disclaimer on. You see the Bears, who have been terrible against the spread against the Packers, and they've just been bad here since the month of November began. They've been terrible, but I'm going to take the Bears anyway. Sometimes you just have to go against the public, and everyone's betting on Green Bay. Everyone's doing it. The Bears have lost 4 straight, and they are going to go with Mitch Trubisky. He is back. Trubisky's back, and Chicago failing to cover the spread 3 of their last 4 games. The Packers are coming off a loss to the Colts last week in overtime. Midweek, they had 21 players on the injured report. So that's I do not believe that is good. Keep in mind, though, Aaron Rodgers, as a 7.5-point favorite or more, it's happened 18 times in his career. He's 11-7, which is good. But it's not like an overwhelming thing. Like he's lost 7 of those games, and so there is an opportunity there. Remember the cardinal rule, though, Gascon. Anytime you get over 7 points, in a divisional game. You don't ask questions. You take the points and be happy. So I'm going to take the points. Packers 27, Bears 20, the final. Backdoor cover.
Taking this one to the bank. Going with the Pack. Go, Pack, go.
Camping Matt says Tom Brady cannot even keep up with his own mobility scooter at this point. That's a good line. It's a solid line by Camping Matt. I like that. Hey, for those of you that are new to the chat, I see some new people in there. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're new watching on YouTube. We do this every week, and I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. So keep supporting the show. All right, we got 2 more games here, Gascon. Are you excited about that? 2 more games?
I mean, one for sure, and then like the other one's the one in question. But yeah, exciting, yes.
All right, Monday Night Football. Seattle 7-3 at Philadelphia 3-6-1. This game opened Seattle favored by 3. The Seahawks are favored by 5 right now at Lincoln Financial Field, the house that Tony Bruno built. Actually, he paid for it with his tax money. The raining and 59 degrees in South Philly on Sunday. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks in this game. Now, each of these teams had 19 players on the midweek injury report. 19 of them! We do not have an updated injury report because this game is not until Monday night, so we don't have that information. Seattle, though, check this out. They have not lost to Philadelphia in Philly since 1989. That's before I was born, Gascon. My God. And so they obviously don't play each other every year. But Seattle visited the Link twice last season and beat the Birds both those games. Remember the playoff game? Devian Clowney came down on Carson Wentz, and he got knocked out of the game. Each score last year was 17-9 was the final in both those games. I just can't bet on Philadelphia. I don't love Seattle as a 5-point favorite. It's not going to be one of my best bets. But Philadelphia is a sloppy team, and you just can't trust your money betting on sloppy football teams. It is a recipe to poorhouse. And this quarterback match, this is like a broken sprinkler versus a fire hose. You've got Carson Wentz, the broken sprinkler, the NFL in interceptions and fumbles, versus Russell Wilson, who leads the league in touchdowns with 30 and a 70% completion rate. Now, I am not a fan of road favorites. You know that if you listen to this every week. Not a fan. But there's no way I am going to bet on Carson Wentz. No way. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks 30 and the Philadelphia Eagles 20.
Penny also likes you in that, going with the Seattle Seahawks and the 5.
All right, we have one more trivia question, Gascon. Why don't we do that?
We have so we have one trivia question, and I have a little bit of breaking news. Which one do you want to have first? Do you prefer the trivia? Do you prefer the breaking news? What does Benny want here tonight?
Let's do the trivia. Why don't we do the trivia? What do you say?
All right, so we'll do the trivia. Yeah. First things first, Bucs running back Ronald Jones's average of 4.8 yards per catch is the worst by any player with 25 or more catches in any single season since 2013, when I averaged just 4.1. Who am I?
All right, you can answer that right now in the chat. Remember, Fanatics is the way to go. 70% off if you're going to do that right now on Black Friday, according to Gascon. I've not confirmed that, but he says 70% off. That's like a ridiculously good deal. I might have to buy something on there. But Fanatics.com is the way to go. And click that link so we get some credit. They help support the show. We get a very small percentage of the money. And it doesn't cost you anything. So it's not like you have to pay more. That would be ridiculous. You pay the same great price, and then we get a little bit of credit for it. It helps keep the YouTube show. This is not some big iHeartMedia production or Fox Sports Radio production. This is just a mom and pop shop. I can't even keep my internet right. So what do you expect from me? My God. All right. Anyway, Bucs running back Ronald Jones, average of 4.8 yards per catch, the worst by any player with 25-plus catches in a season since 2013 when I averaged just 4.1 yards? That is the question. What is the answer? Let's see here. A lot of buffering going on in the YouTube room there, Gascon.
I love how we're like probably 50 miles apart from each other, and yet I'm getting blamed for your internet connection. It's good stuff.
Well, you are the technical wizard. You're the one in charge of this. Yes. Camping Matt is going with OJ the Glove Simpson as his answer. Who else do we have? Marion the Barbarian from Just Josh, one of these Cincinnati bros checking in with Marion the Barbarian as his answer. Kajana Carter tossed out by Rich, the Ram fan Rich.
That's good.
His guess on Benny versus the Penny. Who else do we have here? Can't read that. Let's see here. Juan taking shots at one of our sponsors. Screw you, Juan. How dare you? How dare you, Juan? Let's see here. The late night drug tester says the answer is this week's musical guest on Hee Haw is the correct answer. All right, why don't we just pay this off right now? We'll get to the Tuesday game. What do you say? What?
I did see that Fox is bringing back one of the old school games that we talked about in the podcast. Named that too, and I saw that they're bringing that show back. It's pretty cool. Answer is Ben Tate of the Houston Texans, way back many years ago.
All right, what's your breaking news, Gascon? This better be a sports story, right? Was it a sports podcast?
But what if it's not? What if it's not breaking? Like, what if it's not breaking sports related news?
Well, I mean, this is a sports podcast.
Oh, well, we could talk pop culture. How about that? Look at that. This is what we get here in Los Angeles on Monday. If you see that, that is what we are facing. That's good stuff.
Oh, wait. LA County has announced new stay-at-home order. Well, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. And haven't they already told people to stay at home? What are they going to close all the restaurants and all the stores? I mean, what are they doing?
Toilet paper galore is going to be running out of stock.
It already is. It already has run out of stock, toilet paper.
Good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
Remember at the beginning of the pandemic, they said, just give us a couple weeks and everything will be back to normal. We're going to get this under control.
No dice.
I guess the question is, how many times can you be wrong and people still listen to you? And I guess the answer is endless amounts of time. You can get it wrong and people will still listen to you as a sage predictor of what's going to happen, right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, Tuesday Night Football. That's right, Tuesday Night Football was supposed to happen on Thanksgiving night. That would be Baltimore at Pittsburgh on NBC. The Steelers, that perfect record. The Ravens, not a perfect record. And I assume this game's still on NBC, although I don't know who's calling the game. Originally, it was going to be Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Collinsworth could still call the game. He's doing the game Sunday night, Green Bay and Chicago. And Tirico, if it is on NBC, I imagine he will be doing the game, not Al Michaels. The line on this game, Pittsburgh opened a 2.5-point favorite. They are currently favored by 4.5. Cloudy. Well, I didn't even know the forecast for Tuesday. I had the forecast for Sunday. I don't even know what the forecast is on Tuesday. Yeah. For all I know, it might be snowing at Heinz Field on Tuesday. I didn't update the forecast. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game, despite all of the insanity, despite all the madness. And I think this point spread is going to go higher than 4.5. I imagine it's going to go up to 5 or 5.5. So I would wait to bet the game. Now, Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, the reason this game was moved, he tested positive for the corona, and so he's been a conductor of a very mediocre offense. We assume he's going to be able to be cleared to play in the game by Tuesday. Now, I'm going to put this out there right now. If you find out that Lamar Jackson is not playing and RG3 is the starting quarterback, bet all of your money on Pittsburgh. Do not bet a dime on Baltimore. I'm betting this based on Lamar. And that's it. The Ravens have been a bad team against the spread. They're 2-5-1 over their last 8 games against the spread. You see, they're 1-8 against the spread their last 9 following a loss. And the Baltimore offense, across the board, if you look at Lamar, Baltimore's averaging 343.9 yards per game. That's 24th in the NFL. 407.6 yards in 2019. They were second in the NFL. So they've gone from second to 24th. And the numbers are down across the board for the Ravens. In fact, their passing offense is 31st. Only the Jets are worse. So you don't love the Ravens. I am betting on the Ravens because it's a divisional game. John Harbaugh has won 5 straight games as an underdog. So that is encouraging his team. Steelers are the 18th team in the Super Bowl era to get off to a 10-0 start in the season. They would become the 13th to start 11-0 with a win on Tuesday. Pittsburgh has won its last 2 games by a combined 50 points. That is the best point differential of any 2 games they've had in the last 10 years for the Steelers. And there's all kinds of positive numbers for Pittsburgh. But I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers 30 and the Baltimore Ravens 26 in the final. That's a cover Tuesday night football.
Penny's going with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. Trying to keep that record perfect.
All right. There you go. So that is it. The final game of the weekend. So.
Yes, sir. So let me recap this for you. You had the Patriots, Giants, Jacksonville, Carolina, Tennessee, the LA Chargers, Jets, 49ers, Bears, Seahawks, Baltimore, and then your 3 best bets, you took Las Vegas, Denver, and Kansas City.
That is correct. Those it was always scary when you hear your bets are Jacksonville and the Jets are on the list, but it's the life of a gambler, Gascon. It's the life of a gambler.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
You won money last week with the Jets. You've won money in weeks past with the Giants, Washington.
Yeah. We'll see if it happens. And so again, we'll be back. I'll be back on the radio Sunday night into Monday. How about that, Gascon? Is that exciting? Next week, full week of shows, no days off next week.
Are you? Yeah. Well, you may get a couple days off to rest and recuperate with the Thanksgiving, and then, of course, Christmas is right around the corner. I don't know if you're gonna be doing any kind of visitations from here on out at the mall, but in the city of Commerce today, one of the local news stations sent out a helicopter. And they had a chopper view sky cam over a mall in the city of Commerce, and it was jam-packed. I mean, they talk about people here, obviously social distancing and whatnot. There was anything but. It was full-blown Black Friday here in LA.
Yeah, most people, I know people on the internet are like freaked out and they're scared to death and all that, but most people are just living their lives. I mean, people are going to act as human beings. They're not, you can only coop people up for so long and then they're going to go out and live their lives. So it's just the reality of the situation, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, have a great weekend, everybody. And anything else to promote, Gascon?
One last thing, and make sure to click on the description below for the Fanatics. The discount is in there, Black Friday. Of course, you guys can give thumbs up. Subscribe to the show. We do this obviously every week. We appreciate what you guys do. Viewership's been great. And then, of course, next or this Sunday night into Monday, you'll be back on it.
That's right. Back on the radio, breaking all the NFL stuff down. And I will be taking some time off in December at some point, but I don't know when. I don't know when that will be here. And what's the point of taking time off? Everything's closed. I'm going to have to travel to Bermuda or something like that to see anything. Right?
Yeah, you can't go to Hawaii because if you go to Hawaii, you have to be quarantined for 14 days. Here in California, you have to sign a coronavirus basically permission slip when you come into this state now. I know New York's the same way too. So
well, the way to travel is to get a job in King Newsom's cabinet, and then you can travel because you don't have to go into quarantine. Isn't that how that works?
You got the winery. You can work at his winery.
That's right. All right, that's it. We're out of here, boys. Hey, thank you, everyone in the Maller Militia. We'll be back at it again on Sunday, and then next week the podcast will be back next week, and we'll also have Benny versus the Penny. Woohoo!
See you guys.